There are no accidents in life. Many people come into our lives, but not everyone stays. Some linger, some leave, and sometimes it seems like it's just a series of coincidences. But in reality, every person we meet comes into our lives with a purpose. Perhaps they bring lessons, knowledge, or even challenges that help us grow and become stronger. We often don't notice how important each encounter is until we look at the events over time. So it's worth thinking, what if every person we meet along the way plays a role in our development? One day, a young man named Andrew, an ordinary office worker, decided to stop by a small cafe on the corner after a long day of work to enjoy a cup of coffee. He sat at a small table by the window, reflecting on his monotonous life, thinking about how long it had been since he experienced any significant changes. He had worked at the same place for several years, and his dreams of creativity and starting his own business had long faded into the past. Suddenly, a woman in her 50s entered the cafe. She was unremarkable, wearing a simple coat and carrying a large umbrella. Finding a seat near Andrew, she unexpectedly struck up a conversation, asking him for directions to the nearest bookstore. The conversation began with simple questions about the roads, but soon shifted to discussing books and life. It turned out she was an editor at a small publishing house, and when she heard that Andrew had dreamed of writing but never dared to try, she encouraged him to give it a shot. Andrew didn't think much of this encounter. He considered it random and assumed he would never see the woman again. However, after some reflection, he decided to follow her advice and began writing. He sent his drafts to her publishing house, expecting nothing serious. Time passed, and to his surprise, his manuscript was accepted. His book found success, and his life took a dramatic turn. Andrew started doing what he had always dreamed of. A few years later, he accidentally ran into the woman again. At that moment, he realized that their encounter had not been random. It had been part of his karmic path. In Buddhism, it is believed that all meetings in life are predetermined by karma, and people come into our lives with a specific purpose. This unassuming woman was the one who gave Andrew a chance to change his fate, and perhaps their paths crossed not by chance, but as a fulfillment of a karmic debt from past lives. Thus, one fleeting encounter in a cafe changed Andrew's life forever, proving that the people who seem random may not be so random after all. The importance of people we meet and how they influence us. In our everyday lives, we meet many people, whether they're colleagues, acquaintances, or childhood friends. Every person who crosses our path plays a certain role. Sometimes they stay with us for years, sometimes they disappear, but they almost always leave an impact. Encounters with people can guide us to new paths, push us toward change, or even show us who we don't want to become. Buddhist philosophy teaches us to accept people and events as they are, without being attached to specific outcomes. This philosophy helps us understand that if someone leaves our life, it's part of the natural course of things, not a tragedy. For example, imagine meeting someone who teaches you a new skill or inspires you to make changes in your life. That meeting might have been brief, but its impact was significant. For instance, a colleague might have shown you a more efficient way of working, and that skill became the foundation for your career growth. People as our teachers and mentors. Not all the people we meet bring positive emotions. Some may cause frustration, anger, or even pain. However, from a Buddhist philosophy perspective, these people are our teachers. They show us which qualities we need to develop, or, conversely, what we need to let go of. A difficult boss might teach you patience, while a friend's betrayal can remind you of the importance of trust and loyalty in relationships. For example, the Buddhist philosophy said that everyone we encounter is a teacher, even if they don't realize it. For example, if you're struggling in a relationship, it could be a lesson in forgiveness or understanding your own boundaries. Random meetings that change lives. Random encounters with people can change our future. Someone you meet at a cafe or on the street could influence you, inspire you, or show you new horizons. The universe or fate brings us together with people we need, exactly when we are ready for change. Sometimes these meetings seem entirely random, but in reality they can turn our lives upside down. Example, imagine meeting someone who offers you a new job or project you hadn't even considered. This opportunity could be the beginning of a new chapter in your life, even if at the moment of the meeting you didn't see its potential. Buddhist philosophy and perceptions of love and friendship. Love and friendship are some of the most profound and important human connections. But even here, It's essential to remember not all relationships last forever, and that's okay. Buddhist philosophy teaches us to be grateful for the experience we gain, but not to cling so tightly to people that losing them becomes a personal catastrophe. Every relationship is part of our journey. If we lose a friend or a loved one, it doesn't mean we've lost ourselves. We must learn to let go and appreciate what we had. Example, imagine a close friend suddenly moving away or stopping communication. It can be painful, but instead of dwelling on the loss, Buddhist philosophy encourages us to focus on the gratitude for the time spent together and the lessons learned. The Buddhist understanding of karmic encounters. In Buddhism, there is a belief that every encounter, whether brief or long, is based on karmic connections. We cross paths with people with whom we have certain karmic obligations or debts from past lives. These meetings are not random, they are meant for our spiritual growth. Some people come into our lives to help us resolve past karmic debts, even if that process is painful. Example, if you've experienced a difficult relationship or even betrayal, it could be related to finishing an old karmic cycle. For instance, the person you encounter in this life may have been connected to you in a previous incarnation, and your task is to learn the lesson and complete the karmic debt. Lessons from hardships. Sometimes, people come into our lives during the hardest moments. It could be a doctor helping you through illness or a friend supporting you in a difficult situation. These people are like guides, helping us get through dark times. Buddhist philosophy teaches us to accept such hardships as necessary tests that strengthen our spirit. For example, Buddhist philosophy wrote that everything that comes into our lives is for the good of our soul. If we face someone who causes pain or hardship, it's an opportunity to build our resilience and courage. Random encounters and unexpected changes. In the world, there are no truly random events. Buddhist philosophy believed that every person we meet on our path was sent to us with a purpose. Sometimes, it could be a brief encounter with someone on a train or in a shop, and that person might prompt us towards something new. A random conversation with a stranger can lead to new ideas or decisions that change the course of your life. Example, imagine having a conversation with someone in a bookstore that inspires you to write the book you've always wanted to write. That person could say one sentence that makes you rethink your priorities and take action. Accepting people leaving our lives. Not everyone stays with us for a long time. Sometimes people leave, and this can evoke feelings of sadness and loneliness. But Stoics believe that every person leaves our life when they have fulfilled their role. We must accept this with gratitude and not cling to the past. Each time someone leaves, it's a sign that our life is ready for a new phase. Example, imagine a person you valued greatly suddenly disappears from your life. Instead of trying to bring them back or mourning the loss, Stoic philosophy suggests thanking fate for the time that person was with you and moving forward, opening yourself to new opportunities. The conclusion of Buddhist philosophy and Stoic wisdom. Both Buddhist and Stoic teachings overlap in understanding that every encounter has its significance, even if it's not immediately clear. Stoics teach us to accept each meeting and event with gratitude and without attachment to the outcome. This helps us become more mindful, see the hidden power in ordinary things, and find inner peace, even when life surprises us. A monk in a Buddhist temple might tell a story of how a random person he met on the street became a guide on his spiritual journey. Final thought. Our lives are a mosaic of encounters and relationships. Sometimes it is difficult to make sense of each event in the moment, but if we learn to see lessons in everything, our lives will become more realized. So the next time you meet someone, even by chance, ask yourself, what can this person teach me? Perhaps this very encounter will change your perception of life. Appeal to viewers. If this video has made you think about your own encounters and their meaning, subscribe to our channel. Here we share non-obvious wisdom about life, people, and how to find strength in the most ordinary things. Give us a like if you enjoyed this video, and leave a comment what encounters in your life have changed you.